everybody. Welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is still Mark Starr, and tonight we're going to drink us another beer. So people who know me fairly well know that I'm a huge fan of the city of Chicago. I'm even a Cubs fan, despite the fact that they tend to choke every year, but that's okay. I still love them, and I still try to make it up there every year to one of the games. So this past year, I made it up to Chicago, and for me it was so awesome because it was the first time I've driven to a city of that size where I was able to hit up some of the liquor stores there and bring back some beers that I can't get here in the Kansas City market. One of them that I brought back because I had really got to hear about this one from a really nice restaurant in Chicago called Alinea. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to go there yet, but they used Allagash white in one of their dishes, and that always kind of intrigued me. Like, I wonder what they're doing with a beer. I think they made some type of foam out of it, which, you know, I guess that makes sense. But so anyway, I've not had this beer. It is a Belgian Witbier, so it's basically the equivalent of like our wheat beers here, but they do use Belgian yeast, so it does take on a bit of a different characteristic. So anyway, Allagash is also a very popular brewery. They are out of, I believe it's Portland, Maine, and they're really well known for doing Belgian beers here in the United States, but doing them just about better than anybody. So this should be a pretty good treat. I'm going to go ahead and open it. I've actually, most of the reviews on here I've said, you know, pull your beers out, let them sit for about 10-15 minutes. I haven't really done that one with this one. Since this is a wheat beer, I figured it'd probably be okay just to, you know, pull it right out of the fridge. These beers tend to be more refreshing. So I think it's okay to drink them a little bit colder. Now, I'm also not using a tulip glass, and that's just because on these types of beers, I don't really think that it's that important to really push those aromas up out of the glass. So I've just got a basic pint glass here, and that's what we're going to drink it out of. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, with some of the other Belgian beers that you'll find, they ask you to pour, and this is more, I should say this is more similar to like the Hefeweizens from Germany, where they tell you on the bottle here to go ahead and pour out about 80 to 90% of the beer. And then what you want to do is just give it a little swirl at the bottom so that all of that sediment and yeast that sits down at the bottom can get back into it. Now, before I do that, I just want to show you, and I'm not sure if you can see that, that beer is virtually clear. There is no haze to that whatsoever. But when I go ahead and add this last little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and pour it in there pretty rough, you can see it gives it a really nice, fluffy, soft, white head. And it's also made the beer quite cloudy now. So that is a really traditional color for a wit beer. Let me go ahead and I'll just give it a slight little whirl. I do want to get my nose down in here and see what it smells like. I definitely get that Belgian yeast quality, which, you know, typically brings kind of like that banana bread, clove sort of smell. This is a lot more subtle, so I wouldn't say that the banana bread and clove component is really hitting me. I'm actually getting a little bit more of the coriander. There's like a nice soft perfumey orange fragrance. I really do kind of like the floral component of this. Like I said, it's really kind of perfumey and fresh. Yep, that's pretty nice. You know, this isn't blowing my mind. First of all, it's not an amazing beer, but I will tell you what it is. It's a really, this is a dependable beer, I guess you could say. You could buy 6 packs of this all day long, and it would probably be one of your favorite beers to drink in the summertime. You know, you're out mowing the yard, you come in, you want to have a nice cold beer. You don't want something as light as a, you know, Bud or Miller Lite or something like that. So maybe reach for one of these Allagash whites. It's got a really nice mouthfeel as well. It's almost silky on your tongue. You know, a lot of beers might have like a hop bite. They might be caramely. They might be bitter, sometimes sweet. This is actually a really well-balanced beer for this style. I'm liking the mouthfeel. I am liking the spices. Sometimes I think when people make wit beers, they tend to take the spice and the yeast components a little bit too far. And what you kind of get, you know, it's sometimes referred to as funky, or kind of like the smell of a horse blanket, or barnyard funk is another term that you'll usually hear with some of the Belgian yeast, like the Brettanomyces style of yeast. But this is actually a really subtle beer. You know, again, I'm not going crazy for it. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're somebody who likes a lighter, refreshing beer. The fact that it is, you know, late into fall here, probably not the most suitable beer, but hey, you know what? Beer is beer. Drink it whenever you want. You know, you don't need me to tell you when and what to drink. So, but anyway, if you can find Allagash in your market, this is definitely, I think, something that you could potentially get those who are not into craft beers slowly working into craft beers. You can kind of introduce them to some of the, you know, aspects of a Belgian yeast. You can get them used to spices. If you know someone who maybe drinks Blue Moon, or here in Kansas City we have the really good Boulevard wheat, this beer is going to suit that crowd. And I think, again, I think this is actually better than those beers. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming back. Once again, you can follow me on Twitter, www.twitter.com/thehopry. If you're on YouTube, click on the subscribe button, follow me, and I've certainly got more beers to come. I would say I've got, I don't know, 80 to 100 bottles sitting back here that hopefully I can work through in the next year and share some of my beer experiences with you. But anyway, until next time, I appreciate you guys coming back to the Hopry. We'll see you later.